WWE Bad Blood 2024 is coming up on Saturday, and these are my predictions for the event. There are 5 matches announced for the card, so let's start with the main event. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell match. This is the conclusion of the feud of the year. Punk and McIntyre have been doing outstanding work, the best work of anybody in the company this year. And it was a feud that none of us even really saw coming until the Royal Rumble, where CM Punk gets injured and Drew McIntyre is happy about it. And then that sparked a year-long feud. And it's been amazing. They've had a lot of great segments. Unfortunately, their first match wasn't as good as everyone wanted it to be, mainly because they just threw Seth Rollins in there as the special guest referee, and that took a lot of the seriousness away from the match. I mean, this is a blood feud, so you're not supposed to be joking around and having fun. It's like, you know, this is like the most serious feud that WWE has done in quite a while, because it's based around Punk's injury at the Royal Rumble, but it's also based around McIntyre saying personal things about Punk's family, and obviously the whole bracelet thing, which, you know, I wasn't really a fan of the bracelet, but they made that a focal point of this feud. But I'm glad the bracelet is gone. It was destroyed. So obviously Drew McIntyre won their first match at SummerSlam, mostly because of cheating, and, you know, Seth Rollins being the referee was a distraction. So that match was kind of a letdown. Their next match was the strap match at the Bash in Berlin. That was a much better match. You know, that was a good match. CM Punk won that match. And by the way, CM Punk is looking outstanding for somebody his age. I believe he's about 45 years old, almost 46, and he looks better than most 20-year-olds. So he's doing extremely well. Not only does he look good, he's moving really well in the ring and during his matches. He's very agile, and he looks like the guy he was a decade ago. He hasn't looked this good since like 2013, 2014, because in AEW, he was constantly injured and he wasn't moving the way he moves now. So I'm really excited about the match. I believe CM Punk has to win this match because the way this feud has played out, because of how personal it's been, because of the bracelet thing, and how, you know, Drew McIntyre is always talking about Punk's family, you would think CM Punk has to win. And also because CM Punk is a huge draw in terms of fan interest. So there are so many money matches left for Punk to have. You got CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, CM Punk versus Kevin Owens, CM Punk versus Sami Zayn, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. I mean, there's so much money to be made with CM Punk versus The Rock again. I mean, you could have CM Punk versus John Cena during John Cena's last run. I mean, there's so much you can do with Punk. And no offense to Drew McIntyre, but he's got more years left in his career than Punk does. And I know Drew McIntyre just signed a new contract, and the company is heavily invested in him, but he's got plenty of years to go. He can afford to lose this feud with CM Punk, and he'll still be in the mix at the top of the card. But Punk, you know, he's got to be on his way to a world championship at some point during 2025. And he's going to have to win this feud, because this feud has been the focal point of his year. He's got to come out of this looking good, because he has to look strong going into his future feuds. So CM Punk wins this one. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, he has to win this because this is the end of this feud. There's not going to be anything coming after this for Punk and McIntyre. There can't be. I mean, you can't go any further than Hell in a Cell. And I would imagine Punk is going on to either, you know, like some type of world title thing or something. I mean, it's got to be something big for CM Punk. Now, next match on the card, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Now, my prediction, just right off the bat, I think Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu win. Couple reasons why. They got Survivor Series coming up, so they got to keep this going. I know this bloodline thing between Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, the new bloodline, the old bloodline. This stuff has been going on forever and ever, but they got to keep it going because they got War Games coming up. And you got to imagine Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will be on one side with some other guys, and Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tongaloa, Tama Tonga, somebody else will be on the other side. So in that case, you can't have Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns win. And why? Because Cody Rhodes has already pinned Solo Sikoa multiple times here. It's like you can't have him win again. I mean, Cody Rhodes literally just beat him in a WWE Championship match, fair and square, 1, 2, 3 in a steel cage match. That was just recently. If you have Cody win again over these guys, they're losing something. You know, they're losing credibility as this, scary, dominant force on SmackDown. So you can't have Cody and Roman win here. And I think Cody and Roman are going to lose because of a miscommunication. Something's going to happen between them. Because obviously they're teasing that they're going to do Cody and Roman again at some point in the future. I don't particularly want to see it again. I wasn't a big fan of their first 2 matches. I mean, they were okay, but I didn't think they were amazing. It's like I would prefer if Roman and Cody moved on to other things. I mean, I want to see Roman versus Jacob Fatu at some point. I would like to see Cody versus Randy, Cody versus CM Punk at some point. That's what I want to see. So, but they're probably going to do Cody versus Roman again at some future show. But definitely, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa winning this one. And my guess is Solo Sikoa is the one who wins the pinfall. Because he just got pinned by Cody, at SummerSlam and during that steel cage match. Solo Sikoa is getting the win here. Third match coming up is Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan for the Women's Championship. Now, the feud kind of began when Rhea Ripley accidentally got injured. It's kind of like the CM Punk thing. This turned into probably a much longer feud than WWE was expecting to have, but it ended up helping Liv Morgan a lot. It helped Judgment Day. It helped Dominic Mysterio. It's made Rhea Ripley a sympathetic character. It helped a lot of people, and it extended, the whole feud, and it made many weeks of television so interesting for some people. I mean, some people like the whole Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley thing. I'm just glad it's coming to an end because, this has been going on way too long. And I absolutely think Rhea Ripley's winning, especially with Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage above the ring. Do I think he'll escape at some point? Yeah, probably, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Rhea Ripley has to win here because, first of all, Rhea Ripley is pretty much their biggest female star right now. There's no Becky Lynch around. There's no Charlotte Flair around. Rhea Ripley is their biggest star, and she's very young. She will be a big star for years to come. You can't have her lose to Liv Morgan too many times here because she lost to her already, and I know it was because Dominic Mysterio got involved, but still, you can't have Rhea Ripley look weak here. And also, I hope that Rhea Ripley doesn't sell too much for Liv Morgan because this seems to be a common problem with Rhea Ripley facing smaller opponents. If you remember Rhea Ripley facing Zelina Vega in Puerto Rico, I felt like it was not really a believable match because you're having this big, strong, tall woman sell for these small, frail opponents, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, you sell a little bit, so it makes some sense, but I mean, it's like she sells way too much for other people. Rhea Ripley is way too big and way too strong to be selling as much as she does. Either way, Rhea Ripley's winning the title back, for sure. So that's number 3. Finn Balor, Damian Priest. That is the fourth match announced. Finn Balor is going to win. Why? Because Damian Priest has had a very good year. The guy wins the World Championship at WrestleMania, cashing in the Money in the Bank. Doesn't get any bigger than that. Then he goes on to defend the title quite a few times, and then ultimately lose the title, and not lose the title in a way that made him look weak, because he lost the title thanks to interference, and he also didn't tap out or get pinned. Remember, he passed out in that whole, what was it, the sleeper hold by Gunther. So, you know, he's been made to look strong all year. He beat Dominic Mysterio fair and square recently. So, I mean, Damian Priest has had so many wins, and it's like he's got to lose to somebody, right? I mean, he's got to lose to somebody to make them look good. So, I mean, he lost to Gunther, but Gunther's, the future, Gunther is like the future of the company. But Finn Balor has been made to look weak for many years now. Remember, he was the very first Universal Champion. But this year, and really since the start of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor really hasn't broken through as like a big deal. He's kind of just been in the background. And this is a way to really put him in the main event picture, is by having him beat Damian Priest. Obviously with interference by, who knows, various members of the Judgment Day. But yeah, I think Finn Balor gets it done, probably to extend the feud, because again, Survivor Series War Games is coming up. I'm sure there's going to be a Judgment Day match with Damian Priest and Finn Balor involved. So Finn Balor being the captain of one team, Damian Priest being the captain of another team. So absolutely, Finn Balor gets it done here. So there's one more match so far announced, Bayley versus Nia Jax. Now, Bayley versus Nia Jax also took place at SummerSlam. We all know that Nia Jax won that match thanks to a little bit of distraction or interference from Tiffany Stratton, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I think that's going to come into play in this match, because are there really that many contenders for Nia Jax on SmackDown? I don't think so. There's really not too many baby faces left for Nia Jax to face. I mean, she kind of ran through a bunch of people, and her title reign hasn't been anything special. So I don't really see the point of keeping the title on her. In my opinion, Bayley should get the title back here. Bayley was entertaining champion. She's one of the biggest stars in the company. And do I believe Tiffany Stratton will play a role in this? Absolutely, because they're teasing dissension between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. So we know they're going to break up at some point. And I believe this will be the point where something bad happens, because I think Nia Jax is losing that title. I don't know if Tiffany Stratton's going to cash in. I would doubt it. I would doubt that she's cashing in. I just think she's going to make a mistake that costs Nia Jax the title. So Bayley wins it back, and now you can have a feud between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton before Tiffany Stratton eventually cashes in at some point next year and probably wins the title, because Tiffany Stratton's the future of the women's division. She's already extremely popular, and she hasn't even been on the main roster that long. So yeah, I'm going with Bayley to win the title back, and that's exactly what I want to see. You could have Bayley and Naomi have a feud. You could have Bayley and Chelsea Green have a feud. Bayley can carry that title into next year, and before Tiffany Stratton catches in, and I'm sure, Tiffany Stratton will win the title, and then Bayley and Tiffany Stratton can have their own feud. So there you go. Those are my predictions for Bad Blood 2024. I hope it's a great show. I'm expecting Punk and McIntyre to steal the show. I'm expecting Punk and McIntyre to be one of the best matches we've seen in WWE for the past couple of years. That's what I'm expecting. I hope they deliver.